It's thinking it's live. Now it's live. You are live.
There we go.
There we go. Now we just got to wait. We just got to wait and see how long it takes for somebody to want to watch us. They're coming here to watch
That's
you.
right.
I know that, Michael, not me.
I don't know. Like I said, we can get at least two, a sister, a brother, maybe some parent or some
family. Oh, well, you would think all everybody in Nick's family, all 10 of them, since they're all in the same house.
Exactly.
So if we don't get to 10, you'll need to send him a text.
That's right. If I can just get all my kids to log on, we'll have a significant audience. Waddell has got some youngins. I got 5. I got one 3-year-old running around, thinks he's John Wayne. He's got every cap gun. We have literally went to the Dollar General and bought every cap that has been out for the last month and a half. Every week when new caps come in, we have bought them out of stock.
He's got an addiction,
huh? He loves it. His new favorite show is The Rifleman. You remember that? Connor's his last name, but we've been watching The Rifleman. He's got to wear his cowboy hat, bandana. He pulls his cap guns. He's all bad guy, good guys. And somebody drive up, Daddy's that a bad guy, good guy. There you go.
Yeah, what a wonderful way to break up all this craziness everybody's dealing with to have that. So that's awesome. So hey, if you're just joining us, we're here on Bushnell Live with none other than the bone collector himself, Michael Waddell. How you doing, Michael?
Doing good, Matt. Man, this is crazy times, but at least we got social media apps and obviously Zoom. And it's funny, I haven't been around people outside of my family that much, but I've had face-to-face meetings with more of my partners and friends and seen them at least video, because I've never been a big FaceTime person, but I did the Zoom app, and obviously we're doing Facebook Live, so it's really cool to be able to still interact, to kind of the virtual campfire, so to speak.
What? That didn't make a lot of sense for the guy whose face is everywhere. I mean, we can't walk a trade show without bumping into you, a picture or in a catalog. So I figured you'd be all about the Zoom calls and the FaceTiming.
It's been kind of cool. It's been awkward because I'm a people person. Obviously, you're right. You do a lot of shows, and you're right. I sometimes get tired of seeing myself on some of the stuff. But I'm like, man, it's so cool to get to the shows to see everybody. And I had quite a few appearances that were canceled, and I was actually at the Minnesota during Turkey Expo, and the governor kind of pulled the plug on that. So that was back early in March, and I flew home, and I really haven't been anywhere since. Just hunting around here. And man, I'm a handshaker. I'm a hugger. I'm a man, hug, high five, I don't know. I just grew up that way. So it's been really hard for me not to shake hands and to hug, just a lady's neck that comes up that says, hey, I don't know. It's just the way I was raised. And so it's been really, really strange.
No, it definitely has. It's nice to be able to have this one-on-one connection. But like you and I were talking earlier, I mean, we had a hunt planned, and we canceled it because of kind of the unknown. And now who would have thought? I mean, that's been less than 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago, and here we sit. I mean, you and I were just kind of like, well, yeah, we'll get this rescheduled, and we looked at some dates, and then bam, nobody's going anywhere. It was unbelievable.
I know. Completely took me by surprise. Obviously, I've never seen anything like this, but nobody has. I mean,
exactly.
The oldest person on earth to you and I, to the youngest, have never seen anything like this. And I pray we never see it again. But you're right.
Amen.
We were going mountain lion hunting. We were going to go to Florida and try to chase some Osceolas. We were both really looking forward to it. And obviously our buddy Jared was coming with us, and that works there with Bushnell. And so, and then, just get some camaraderie and to get some TV. You guys have been partners. You guys have been partners with Bone Collector a long time, as well as road trips and obviously Spring Thunder and the guys at Realtree. So obviously the Bushnell family goes deep with a lot of my partners and a lot of my friends and people that I hunt with. And so dadgum, it was going to be a fun time. And I'd like to say, of course, our wives, we were accomplishing business. We were going there for business. It was
working.
We had to do it.
Everything's a work trip.
Exactly. But it was going to be fun, and we were going to hopefully knock some turkeys down and get some good footage to share with everybody. And unfortunately got canceled. But the good news is around here in the South, Georgia and Alabama, we've had seasons that come in pretty early, so we've had a chance to get some really good deal.
Good.
What's up, Ernie Brown? See you right there, man. What's up, Ernie?
Hey, so I know a lot of people probably know a little bit of your backstory, how you got started in Turkey Calling contest, and then Real Tree saw you, and then did some guiding and it kind of filming with them, and it kind of blew up from there. But I'm kind of curious why turkeys? What was it about it at that age that you just went, man, this is
Yeah,
something I think I can do and do well. It's just kind of a different. I don't even know if there's any turkey calling contests
yeah,
still going. I mean, I know the NWTF does a few at the banquets, but probably not like what you were doing at the time, right?
yeah. I mean, back then, and especially the mid '90s and early '90s, man, turkey calling got really big, and there were contests everywhere. There's still, some local contests, but it seemed like then, just in the southern states alone, there was always turkey calling contests. But I grew up hunting. Like I went deer hunting. That was one of the first things that I did as far as big game. Of course, just like every other redneck country kid, I grew up with a Red Ryder BB gun, just shooting at anything. I mean, from, pop cans to, birds or whatever, man. It was just natural instinct. You live in the country or really anywhere. If you got a Red Ryder, you go hunting. And that led to obviously, trying to shoot squirrels and hunt squirrels and rabbits and going fishing with my dad and my papa, and so, and then obviously that evolved into deer hunting. And at the time, we didn't have a lot of turkeys in that area. And I remember one deer season we saw some turkeys, and my dad said, "Man, we ought to go hunt them." I mean, that was how simple it was. And we went, and the first time I ever went hunting, I got one, and I was like 13 years of age. I didn't get another one until I was like 15 or 16. And so I realized that, or I was 15, just turning 16, and I realized, oh my goodness, a long-eared turkey is a trophy. Like turkeys are really aggravating and hard to hunt, especially, coming from the South. And then at that same time, it was kind of a neat, well, it wasn't neat for me at the time, but deer hunting in the South was really big, but our trophy nice bucks, the size of the deer were going down. QDMA had not been established. And so I had shot a lot of deer, and I was kind of getting tired of just shooting, small deer. I enjoyed it, but what happened was I realized that, man, turkey, make a long beard turkey, a 2-year-old turkey is a trophy. And so, not that I was a trophy hunter, I just started loving and getting infatuated with turkey hunting, and they kicked my butt. I couldn't shoot one for nothing, man. I could not get one in range. I would screw up. I was the worst turkey hunter on earth. But yet I had that emotional feeling of what it was like to
Right.
get one with my dad when I was first time I ever went. So I went from thinking I was a turkey pro to realizing that I was not a turkey hero. I was a turkey zero. So it drove me crazy. So I started, paying attention to turkey callers, people like Paul Butsky, Eddie Salter, Dick Kirby, become my idols. And I would listen to tapes and try to learn how to become a better turkey caller and turkey hunter. And I just always loved music. So I got intrigued with the noises that turkeys make, started doing pretty good. And then I never forget, I went turkey hunting with a guy that had been calling a lot in competitive calling contests, and he had actually done really well at the Georgia State Championship. And he said, "Man, Michael, you're a good turkey caller. You need to start competing. I think you could win." And I said, "No, man, I'm not that good." I said, "I've just been practicing trying to sound like Paul Butsky." He said, "Well, you sound good." And so anyway, he talked me into getting in the turkey calling contest, and I won it. And so after that, I just started like, man, this turkey calling is cool, and there's competition, and man, it just took off, and that led to winning, Grand National Championships, two-man team championships with my buddy Ricky Joe, World Championship two-man team with Ricky Joe, a friend here in Georgia, and Grand America Championships, and then just, all kind of different local contests. And so it led to meeting Bill Jordan, where I started guiding for Bill and then running a camera to really where I'm at now. It just opened all the doors to everything. So I loved hunting everything, but it was turkey that really took me down the path to meeting people in the industry.
And I'm sure you were hoping for big things, something to come out of it, but there's probably no way you imagined
Yeah.
that would just make that big of a jump and your life would change so dramatically from getting into that. I mean, that had to be kind of a mind blowing thinking about it now and looking back, just going, wow, all that from picking up a call.
It completely blew my mind because I was never getting into turkey calling to have a career in turkey or the hunting industry. I just loved and had a lot of heroes. And so growing up blue collar, I didn't realize that you could make a living. And I knew that, I guess I knew there was a hunting industry because I bought all the products. I mean, even going back, I remember having that old Bushnell Banner 3x9 on my old Remington firearms gun. I knew about that there was product, but I just never put it together that I can make a living through outdoors and hunting. And so it was always a passion and passion in hunting. And so to get a chance to just turkey call and meet these people,
Yeah.
I never thought that, man, one day I'm going to be on TV. One day I'm going to be a hunting personality. It never was a life goal or pursuit. I just wanted to hunt. But yet in my mind, I was like, well, I'll have to, build houses or be a carpenter. I'll have to learn to be a plumber. I actually went to school to be a heating and air tech. And so I got good at that and actually worked a little bit in that. But I was already hooked in with realty, and just all of a sudden I remember sitting down talking to my dad. I'm like, man, they offered me a job. I'm like, I wonder what all I'll do. And so that just led to a career. So it was just a blessing, and it has been unbelievable. But taking that same hard work ethic that I learned and applying it has given me a chance to do so much more. And then the good Lord's blessings, it's been, like I said, it's really been a true American dream story. And I can't even thank the people who watched our shows, the people I've met across the country, from my mentors to fans, but I don't even call them fans. I call them family. And so to companies like Bushnell, friends like you that have we supported each other. It's such a tight-knit group of people. And at the end of the day, we hope to sell more hunting license. And if you sell hunting license, you sell hunting product. But obviously we got to first sell the culture of hunting. And it's been the best joy and the best, blessing of my life to be able to represent something I really believe in. And that is the hunting and outdoors culture. It's been just unbelievable.
Hey, Brian Moore's got a good question. I was kind of wondering this too. He wants to know if you're kicking back in that recliner you posted about the other day. Looked like you found a bead out there.
Man, I did, Brian. I see you, buddy. That was the most funny thing ever. And just so you know, behind the scenes, Brian, I caught hell on that post. Let me tell you why. So if you watch, and I posted, and I said, guess where I'm at? And so I'm sitting in this recliner, which behind the scenes, if you follow at Booger Bottom on Twitter, there is a picture of me and my buddy Philip Culpepper. We just shot this big Alabama longbeard. We walk out, and somebody had dumped this old ratty, beat up, recliner that looks like it'd been through World War II, and the legs are gone and rusted and nasty. It probably was just a Corona bomb is all it was. It was that nasty. So I sat down in it, and I said, man, take a picture. And we took this picture that just looked like this old Western funny throwback. And I said, guess where I'm at? Hint, hint. And I put Roll Tide. And so obviously we're big Auburn fans. So it was a little bit of slap,
A little bit of it. I gotcha.
Yeah. And so, but my wife, Matt, she graduated from Auburn University. So she was so mad. I get home, she's like, I cannot believe you have posted Roll Tide. And so I saw, I can't believe I said, Christy, it was kind of a funny. It wasn't a direct jab, but if I'd have put War Eagle, and so anyway, it was just funny. So yeah, only in Alabama can you find an old ratted out, recliner sitting by your turkey club gate,
but you
get a chance to sit down.
You didn't answer the question. Did you bring it back? Are you sitting in it now?
Oh no, I didn't bring it back. I'm sitting in my wife. But hey, if my dad had been with me, my dad's old school, he would have probably took it back and a little WD-40, some duct tape, we'll get this thing back going. Shoot, it'll be good in the hunting room.
Baling wire and duct tape. If it doesn't fix it, that's what my dad said. It wasn't worth keeping if you can't fix it with that. So
that's very true.
A lot of people call you Waddy. I mean, we talked to Travis and Nick, and we talked a little bit about their nicknames. Travis with T-Bone. Nick had a good story about being called the Wheel when he was guiding a couple of Italian guys from New York. But where did Waddy come from? Who was the first person to call you that? Did you come up on your own, or
no? The first person I ever recall calling me Waddy was my wife, Christy. She just one day like Waddy or something like that, and then T-Bone, who is like one of the most observant people who catches on to what things people say and just body language, said, "Hey, Sarah Libbers, I love Sarah. She's such an awesome girl. Her and the whole family. We love you there. Tell Nathan." Everybody said, "Hey," too. But anyway, my wife said it first, and then T-Bone started saying it. And then after that, it caught on. So my wife and T-Bone were the first two people that I remember calling me Waddy. And it goes back 10, 11 years ago for sure.
Well, Chad's he's there right from the back. And Brian just want to tell you, he thinks Papa would have brought it back to life. So maybe you have to go back.
Brian.
Father's Day's coming up. I mean, you could go back out there and get it for him.
Go refurbish it. That's right.
Hey, so one of the things I was going to ask you about, I know everybody's been dealing with all of this, and I know you're on social media some, and you've got a couple of kids, in high school and about that age, and we're hearing a lot about, unfortunately, seniors. We're coming up on May, missing out on opportunities for prom and missing outs. But kind of branching off of that, one of the questions I had was if you were going to go back and talk to this kid right here, what would you tell him? What would you tell this kid right now?
I would tell him at prom 1989, don't get your foot caught in the fun wheel. That's what I'd tell him. That dude right there, he was crazy back in the day, wild and crazy, and couldn't be stopped. I'm telling you, I remember that picture right there you got up, man. That's me, obviously, and it was
obviously
way back, man. Obviously, but that don't even look like me now, man.
How old were you?
I don't even know, but obviously, and it's funny. I think that picture, obviously, if I don't necessarily think that was 89, I think that was like just out of high school. But I had that old prom shirt, and obviously, you kept every T-shirt. I probably still got the dang thing.
I bet you do.
But Lord have mercy. That is, man. I loved high school, man. I did. I never went to college, and it has broken my heart. Like what you just mentioned, these seniors in college. There's been so much that's just made me sad about it. But for some reason, that's really got to me is the seniors who maybe don't have a chance to go to the traditional type of graduation, those proms that were missed, those high school seniors that didn't get to play their baseball or volleyball and the different sports that they missed out on. And man, that's sad because I remember my dad always told me, he said, look, in high school, he actually quit school when he was in ninth grade and had a really tough childhood. And he always was really big about, living every moment of your middle school as well as high school years and making sure to play football, play baseball. If you're a girl, try to get into cheerleading, try to do something extracurricular because you got the rest of your life to work. You got the rest of your life to have all these insane responsibilities, but also those sports teach you responsibility and about team and working with others. And I look back and my dad pushed me to do that. And so it just breaks my heart. I know how much fun I had and how sentimental it was those years. And so for all those seniors who might listen to this and those parents of seniors, man, I just shoot, yeah, man, we've got to celebrate them and do stuff. And I hope that we can go back and have some huge celebrations for them later on this summer. I'd love to see that happen.
So have you had it? Yeah, I know like you said, you've been down in Georgia, so you probably, T-Bone's fairly close, but Nick isn't. Have you had a chance to see Nick and all this? Have you FaceTimed him or anything lately?
No, not much at all. We've been on a couple Zoom meeting calls, and obviously we're cut up, so we've goofed around. But I've seen T-Bone a couple times. He's come down to the office and stuff. But really, it's been what it has been. I mean, literally, we Bone Collector as a company, we pretty much closed our office for the most part. We got a small company, and so obviously production carried on. Had a chance to still hang in there with my producer, Cohen Stone. We had a chance to produce a new series for my outdoor TV called Can't Stop the Flop, which we basically went out there and did a 6-part series on turkey hunting, my passion for turkey hunting. So if you want to, make sure to download that out, my outdoor TV. Obviously, we used a bunch of the Bushnell products, so you can check that out. But I haven't had a chance to be around the guys. I mean, really, it's just been, and then when I have, it's been one at a time. So we kind of followed the mandate and tried to stay safe as we could. But I'm man, I'll be honest with you, I'm chomping at the bit. I'm ready to get back out there. I do miss people, and I'm ready to get back rolling.
Well, as you know, we had Nick on last week, and we played a little game with him called Quarantine Cuts. So Nick being a former barber, I showed him some pictures of people with some, pretty, I don't know what happened, and he gave some improvised. But since you hadn't seen him, I captured a picture from it, and boy, he was looking pretty rough. I don't know what Nick decided to do, but he was looking pretty rough last week.
That is awesome, man. That's funny. It's real, dude.
I had to throw him up with that. That one stumped him a little bit, but
that's funny. Who is that?
I have no idea.
It looks like
when I saw it, I said that is Nick. That is Nick. Hey, so Alan's saying if we ever want to get over to Ireland, he put us on some Sitka deer. I think we might have to reach out to Alan after this. Sounds like a game to me.
I would love to go to Ireland. I mean, I think I got some Irish or Scottish descent, so I would love to go. I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I've always thought that'd be a fun place to chill and hunt.
And Nathan wants to wish you a happy early birthday. You got one coming up in a few days.
I do. Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate it.
Number 7. What do you
that's
got?
right.
Quarantine birthday. What do you got planned?
Man, I have really nothing, and I have, like I said, I'm completely tagged out on turkeys, and so I've never got tired of hunting turkeys and shooting turkeys. So I guess I'll have to take somebody else try to get a turkey on my birthday. So it's at this point, man, I don't know. I still feel young, but I'm getting older, and I'll be 47 in May 7th. May 7th is my birthday. But man, right now, you know how it is, and I think Matt, you're probably about the same. I'm just, man, not to sound like too sentimental, but at this point, just to be breathing oxygen, having healthy kids, and having good friends and a good foundation, and a way to make a living and keep the lights on, for me, that is the best gift ever. I don't need much else from that, and I have been so blessed over my life. I'm telling you, I feel like a lot of times I don't deserve half of what I've had a chance to even see or do. It's just been amazing. So yeah, no, it's crazy, man. The years keep flying by. I still, in my mind, and Nick Munton, I know T-Bone still feel the same. I still feel 12 in my actions, but then physically, I'll get out there and do some stuff. Like my 3-year-old just learned to ride a bike, and so my neighbor, that's got property beside me that we hunt together. When this quarantine thing stuff broke, we had been constantly around his kids. He has 2 boys and his wife. And so Easter, we just kind of said, well, look, we've been around each other since the beginning. They're in our like 10 or 12 people group that we'd been around. So why don't Easter, we let our boys, look for Easter eggs together. And Waylon being the youngest. And so that night we got to goof around, the kids riding their bike out here on the concrete slab. And so my oldest boy had his little old 20-inch BMX bike. So I jump on that thing. In my mind, I'm still right there with them. Lord, I get the bunny hopping and bunny hop up and hit a cooler and about broke my dang neck. So it wasn't Corona that was going to kill me. It was going to be quarantine trying to do these tricks with these kids. It's going to get me. So, yeah, for my birthday, just being around was good enough.
So I've got a couple questions for you, and then we're going to turn it over to some Q&A. There's already been some in the comments, and I'll try to scroll back up and get to a couple of these. But, I'm curious if you've got kind of a luxury item during quarantine, maybe something you purchased long ago, maybe something you got recently, or, just something that you're like, man, this is really helping pass the time. I don't know, the Netflix subscription. I mean, just a place to shoot your bows. What's been kind of your luxury item? Maybe it's a late night trip to the refrigerator. What's been keeping it real, man?
Honestly, you nailed it. This is going to be a Southern joke by the end of this. Somebody's going to start laughing because in the South, we just excited down here in Georgia to have electricity. I mean, seriously. And so for me, I've never had really good internet where I live. And so, we live out on this river in a real secluded area. So I got this dish Wi-Fi, and man, that's something you can't even hardly check email on it. I mean, it's just like dead gum. And so I come over here to my farm, and I got a little barn and a camper. Well, guess what? It's right off the Hamilton, Georgia city limits. Well, I've got Wi-Fi. My daddy calls it Wirefire, so I got Wi-Fi. So I have discovered Netflix. And oh my goodness!
Oh boy!
I know it. So yeah, I got like a little kid watching Netflix. So obviously, like everybody else, we watched The Crazy Madness of Tiger King. I watched Peaky Blinders. I've watched Ozark. That was, just so I can see the addiction of watching that. And I've been catching up on a lot of the MOTV stuff and a lot of the hunting shows that to be honest, I haven't even had a chance to watch some of these guys that I call friends a lot, and I've had a chance to catch up on some of their shows. So I'd say, yeah, my luxury item was probably being a little bit more of a couch potato and watching some stuff because typically, I'd be on the road a lot, and I really don't, by the time I usually get back to a hotel room or hunting camp, you go to bed. So,
well, we had Heath wants to know how the pecan production's going with all this stuff going on. Does he look like it'll be a good crop this year, or how's it looking? I know the wheat's looking good in Oklahoma for where I'm from. It's looking fantastic. So how's pecans doing? And is it pecan?
Yeah. It's funny. Yeah, thanks for the question. And Matt, to answer your question too, I call it a pecan. I've said this before on another forum one time. I can't remember what I used to call it, pecan or pecan, but I had a lot of friends down in South Georgia that do really well selling pecans. And so one day I was down there and I said, and they was kind of mentoring me on my farm. And I said, is it pecan or pecans? And I asked the one guy, I said, well, how many? He said, it's pecans. And I said, well, let me ask you, how many pecans did you sell? He said, well, I sold about $4 or $5 million worth last year. I said, I'm going to call mine pecans too. And so I thought to myself, if a man is making that much money selling pecans or pecans, I'm going to call them exactly what he calls them. So that's why I started calling them pecans. But right now it's been good. And that has been a plus too, that Heath asked about the pecan farmer, because we have obviously, I haven't been out of town. And so me and my older son, Mason, who is home from college because they obviously canceled class, has been here to help me. And even though my dad has pretty much been quarantined over at his house, my dad is 67. So we've been really careful with the older generation. And my dad still outworked me and probably stronger than me now. But at the same time, that's been my biggest fear of this pandemic. And I think most people, I'm not going to say that, I mean, I can't guarantee, I guess that's in the good Lord's hand if I'd make it or not, or any of us if we get it. But I feel pretty confident, and the percentages show that the most of the people that have it, my theory is there's a lot more people had it than we thought. But I think there's a good chance that you'll make it through it. However, man, I would hate to be the one that had it, and even though I'm making it through it and I get through it, to give it to somebody or the older generation, somebody with compromised immune system, and you would almost feel like you did kill that person. And so I think that's been the biggest thing with this. But with that said, I hadn't been around my dad a lot, so my son Mason has helped me a lot with the pecan farming. We've got everything sprayed. We're on top of the orchard. It's beautiful, and it's just been awesome. So hopefully we just keep getting rain. My orchard is not irrigated, so I'm hoping we get some nice rain. So far, we've been getting a lot of rain, so it's looking good right now.
Wyatt wants to know if you've ever been longbeard hunting in Missouri. You come out.
Dang right. Wyatt Bell, buddy, y'all live in longbeard heaven, man. Missouri's got them old softball-headed turkeys, look like Volkswagens out there in the field strutting. Big old, honest, big, strong. I love it. So, yeah, I love Missouri. And I have hunted there quite a bit. Matter of fact, I used to hunt up there a lot with Jay Gregory back in the day. And I always enjoyed hunting with Jay Gregory.
This is a good question from Daryl. He's curious to know if you actually have a count on your turkey kills to date.
You know what, Daryl, and Daryl, by the way, hey, buddy, Daryl's always been a great man, almost like family to us at Bone Collector, and he's always been very supportive of all of us. And so thanks for the question, Daryl. Man, Daryl, you know, buddy, that puts me on the spot. I don't really know. I tried to think to myself, so I know I've got guns that I've got tallies on. I've got old Remington 1187 that I've shot. I shot one the other day, which was the 94th turkey. I shot with that gun. And I've got a lot more. It's got a lot of tallies on it. And then I got to thinking back. So I really feel like I started figuring out how to get on turkeys at around 17 years of age. And so now being 47, I feel like I have averaged, because when I grew up, I could only hunt Georgia. And back in the day, you could only shoot 2 a year. So I feel like I would get my 2 a year for the majority of the time. And then I had a chance to start working at Realtree. And then I started still getting my 2 a year in Georgia. But Bill Jordan, as a gift, and David Blanton would let me hunt from time to time. And then in 2002 and 2003, I would get a chance to hunt multiple states and sometimes limit out in multiple states. So on average, since my careers really took off, I would shoot anywhere from, I would say, 5 to up to 15 turkeys a year. Wow. So I would say I got to be moving in on that 500 turkey mark.
You're coming up to 500.
Yeah. And this year has been well off. But on top of that, not only have I had a chance to shoot a lot of turkeys, but just like we were planning a turkey hunt in Florida, and obviously I would have been right by your side when you shot a turkey. I was averaging, and I did keep notes on this the last several years, I was averaging seeing with my eyes that I was a part of at least 25 to up to 45 turkeys a year, just guiding and going out west, going to Nebraska, going to Texas. And so I don't know how many turkeys I saw shot, but I will say it's led to a lot of experience, and that's why I feel very confident about going turkey hunting, because I really feel like deep down, might sound a little arrogant, I feel like when I go, if I get on a gobbling turkey, I feel confident and feel like I'm going to shoot him and get him. So.
Turkey. Josh has got a kind of an interesting question. We know, dogs are getting tested for COVID, the lions in the zoo, cats, but you think any effect on the turkey population? I mean, who knows? But I mean, I would guess no. What's your take? Any ideas?
Yeah, I would guess no. The biggest thing, John, and I think John is from the South, but I can tell you, I think the biggest thing, I don't think no turkeys got COVID-19, but I think because people are afraid of COVID-19 and out of work, there's a lot of turkeys getting lead poison upside that head, and so so because of the coronavirus, there's a lot of turkeys that's getting shot. So a lot of people are hunting and going, especially public land success is well up this year. We had a chance to do some videoing on some public ground, and man, it's been unbelievable to see the amount of people going hunting. So
Good.
maybe that's a good thing. Maybe having the chance to be at home has rejuvenated a lot of people to get outdoors and hunt.
Great way to spend the time if you can do it. John wants to know if you've ever hunted Oklahoma.
Yes, I have. Oklahoma is my new favorite place to deer hunt. I had a chance to go out to western Oklahoma this past year, kind of right on the Texarkana or Texas line out there. Or Amarillo, I think it was. Is it Amarillo? It would have been Amarillo. Right on the Lord, my geography teacher is ready to throw a rock at me. But all the way western, right on the Texas border, Oklahoma City and due west, just a couple hours, and got 2 nice bucks with my bow. I've turkey hunted there, and holy cow, Oklahoma. I wouldn't call it a sleeper state, but yeah, y'all got everything in Oklahoma, man. A lot of deer, a lot of turkeys. It's just a great place.
Quit telling people about it.
I know it. No wonder my buddy.
Quit telling people about it.
No wonder Blake Shelton.
He said that's what he meant. He said they think the hunters are having some good success. So cool. At least the lead poisoning is going to be listed as a side effect soon. So we're already.
You're right, Alyssa. Yeah, you're right on that.
Elise is already guessing. So. We got a lot of people wanting to know where you hunted. Brian's asking about West Virginia. Yeah.
You know what? That's one state I have not hunted. I've been in West Virginia a lot for a lot of events and a lot of store openings and a lot of consumer events, and just had a blast in West Virginia. And but I've never hunted. And that's one thing I've always wanted to do really bad in West Virginia. I've always wanted to hunt turkeys in that part of West Virginia that's showing up the hills and hollers, because I think that would be a challenge and but also be fun. And so I've always been intrigued to go turkey hunting in the big hardwoods in West Virginia. I have. Now, I've hunted a lot in Virginia, kind of right up to the West Virginia line, but never in West Virginia.
Well, if you guys are just tuning in, we're here with no other than Waddy himself here on Bushnell Live, taking a couple open Q&A. So if you got something you're wanting to ask, Sharinda wants to know best beginner turkey call. Well, you got any suggestions? Do you start off with a slate call, maybe a box call, or what are you thinking there to get going, or go straight to the mouth call?
I would say a push pull would be one of the easiest, best to make good solid turkey sounds, and the next would be a box call. And a box call, even for a veteran turkey hunter, man, makes some of the most realistic, turkey sounds out there. So yeah, I'd say a push pull and just learn how to yelp and cluck, and I'm telling you, you'll love it. It's not that hard. It does get a lot harder when you go to the mouth diaphragms and to break down exactly the language of a turkey. It does get pretty complex, but it becomes natural. It's almost like it's like learning to speak Spanish. If you grew up speaking English, once you learn a language, you just speak it without thought or thinking. And that is a turkey caller, is when you become a really good turkey caller, is when you don't even think about it. But making the sounds itself is can be hard. But a push pull or a box call, I think, is some of the easiest instruments of those friction calls to make those solid turkey calls.
When you're practicing, I mean, would you suggest listening to some recording sounds? Would you? I mean, what are maybe some quick 1-2 steps for people that are trying to get that perfect cluck, that purr, that repetition if they can't make it out? I mean, what would you suggest to kind of practice a little bit on that?
Well, one is learning turkey rhythm, and right now on all the digital platforms, there's so many search engines you can look at, like Real Live Hens Yelping. Obviously, there's a lot of professional turkey callers that's got a lot of good tips out there on yelping and cutting and clucking and all the different sounds that a turkey makes. But what you can do, people with a musical ear typically make the best turkey callers, because they can hear the sound coming from those speakers or those animals, and then they can mimic those sounds. And so if you have a kind of a tone deaf ear, which some of us do, I was blessed that I could always hear music. And so I love to play a guitar. I never have sang, but the reason I don't sing is because when I do sing, I know that I suck. So therefore I don't. Where somebody, some people sing and they think they're killing it, but they ain't hearing the same thing. And so you got a good musical ear, you can go to these, YouTube, you can go to Outdoor TV, you can go to Realtree 365, and there's all these great sounds, and you can really listen to it. And then once you hear that, if you want to go back to a quick tuning for it, what you'll find, get you a good box call, and that rollover, that rusty wheel, I call it, that high to low. And then that's what I'll do a lot of times. If I want to really fine tune my mouth call, I'll yelp a few times on my box call, and then I'll mimic that sound that I'm hearing from my box call and try to get close to it. So that's
Gotcha.
some of the things I do. So.
Yeah, perfect. We were just talking about this yesterday. Andy's curious about your go-to configuration for binos. You said you were up in the stand yesterday, and you had to show one of the guys from Realtree something.
I did. Well, I'd always when I'm hunting deer or animals, I use the Bushnell, the shoulder straps. I don't even know what we call that product.
Harness, harness, shoulder strap.
Yeah, the harness. I love it, and I keep everything right here. Look, drop them. Rangefinder right here on a piece of parachute cord that now comes with the Bushnell rangefinders. But for turkey hunting, I do a lot of crawling, and I seem to be always shed my turkey vest and going on some kind of Navy SEAL adventure, it looks like. So sometimes even the bigger Bushnell binoculars, I usually would stick them in my pack. And then they were still the heaviest thing in my pack. Well, oh my goodness, dude, I hooked up and got a pair of the new Nitro, the smaller compact, and they're 10 power. They feel a little dainty. They're kind of light, but holy cow, they're crystal clear glass. Matt can probably tell people more about it, but they got unbelievable quality glass. They're light, so I don't think it's a pair of binoculars I'd want to be, holding in elk woods or even deer hunting. But oh my goodness! And so the other day, Philip Culpepper, he broke out a pair of these the old trophy Bushnell, and he's looking, and so I come up right beside him, and I pulled out my little Nitros, and he's like, "Dude, where'd you get them?" I was like, "Dude, these are only for the pro staff, Philip. Only for the pro staff." So that's what I use. And so before, what I do, if I would always take a piece of parachute cord and run it kind of side chest, kind of like a bandolero, and I could slide it up, but I could also take it off good. However, man, I've lost a few pair of binoculars because I would shed them and go crawl or go crazy, and then forget to go back and get them, especially if I got a turkey. So
we have those 10x25s in the Nitros and those 10x36. Those are two good options for somebody who's looking for a nice, lightweight, like you said, compact, easy to carry bino. So if you're looking for something there in the Bushnell line, we definitely got you covered. All right, one more. Have you hunted? Philip is curious if you've hunted Arkansas.
I have hunted Arkansas, yeah.
And is that Arkansas or is it Arkansas?
I'm telling you, I have hunted Arkansas, and I turkey hunted there, and it was phenomenal. And it was years ago that Arkansas had started this. They were kind of teaming up with Texas Trophy Hunter, and they had like this Arkansas Trophy Hunter, I think it was. And I did an appearance, and me and David Blanton went out there and hunted. And man, there was a lot of turkeys out there. I haven't hunted deer, but I did hunt the turkeys, and I was really impressed. It was awesome.
Well, if anybody else has got a question, feel free to fire it off in the comments. I'm sorry if I'm missing some of them. I'm sure I am. So we'll do our best. If you have a product question, we've got some people watching they'll do their best to get you pointed in the right direction. So we'll see if a couple other people, and then Michael, you and I are going to play a little game. We were talking last night. We thought, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So I think
that's right.
You're sipping on something. I've got a little something, and we figured we'd do a little never have I ever. And I've got a couple questions for you that might really get to find out who the real Waddy is. Just kind of.
All right. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited.
So right. Elise wants to know, here's a good question. We'll just get it out in the open. Elise asks, are there any states you've not hunted that you wanted to? Where do you want to go next if we could load up tomorrow and go?
Yeah, there is some things I would love to do. Obviously, one thing I've always wanted to do was to hunt elk in California. Those two elk that live out there on the coast. That's just always kind of been something I thought would be really fun and really cool to do. I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted to go to Maryland, believe it or not, and hunt some of those northeastern shore big bucks. Okay. They got kind of off the wall a little bit. I thought
maybe you were going to want to go crabbing. I didn't know where you're going with
that. yeah, exactly. But they got some unbelievable hunting. Maryland is a crazy good state. And I said earlier, I'd always want to go to West Virginia and hunt turkeys. And really I've been so blessed. A lot of the places I always dreamed of going, I have had a chance to go. And I would say as a Southern boy, I always dreamed of going out west, and I've had a chance to go on some unbelievable Western adventures, Alaska, Yukon, obviously a lot of the states, like your typical Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, that type stuff. I was even lucky. One of the things I'd want to do before that, I always wanted to go to Nevada to hunt elk, but it's hard to draw those tags. But I did draw a tag several years back and shot a really good bull with my bow. And so outside of those states I just mentioned, a lot of things I've had a chance to do. I've been so extremely blessed. One other place or thing I'd like to do, I'd love to go to Washington State and maybe hunt Roosevelt elk and some of those thicker, denser forests. So those are kind of things, that I would love to do, I guess.
Don't forget to call me when any of those happen, okay? I'm ready
I will,
to go.
buddy.
I'll carry a bag, whatever you want or need to know. Hey, Brian's wants a quick question. If you got a recommendation on a good vest, what he said he lost his and looking for a new one. What do maybe even more important to that, what are some good characteristics of a good turkey vest? Because I know there's a lot of good choices out there, but I mean, what are some things you look for in a good turkey vest?
We had a chance this past year or 2 years ago. I had a chance to sit down with the people at Old Tom, which is Drake. Drake is the mother company of Old Tom and Non-Typical Gear, and design a vest. And actually, they ended up calling it the Michael Waddell Signature Series. And that thing had everything I wanted on it. And so that's the vest I recommend. Obviously, I'm not necessarily just trying to sell you one, Brian, but when you ask what would I want in a vest, what I use, that's the vest that I have. But it was the one that I had a chance to design that I wanted. And I really like it. The only thing that vest doesn't have that I'd like to have that is hard to get, it's a patent on it, so you can't do it, is have that stadium seat. Okay. I think it was a Buck Lick Creek seat that used to have. You could flip that thing down. You could sit down. Didn't necessarily have a tree. It don't have that, but everything else it has, I like it. Lightweight. It's just, if you go online or go to oldtom.com, you can check it out. That's the best I use.
So Josh wants to know if you've accomplished the U.S. Super Slam. Now I know there's the U.S. Slam, and then there's the Grand Slam, and then a World Slam. So I think he's in there. You've probably done them all, right? I mean, you've done, how many slams do you have underneath your belt?
On the turkeys, man, yeah, I've definitely done that a pile of times. I don't even know how many times. But believe it or not, I've only done it twice in the same year, to where I get them all four. And Josh, you might be talking about too, and you can come back and comment if you hear me. You might be talking about Super Slam, some of the North American or the American big game animals, and man, I'm gonna tell you, Nick Munt is the one who's up to speed. That Nick wants to shoot everything. I'm kind of one of those guys. A lot of the things that I had on my bucket list as animals, I always did want to get a Grand Slam for turkeys, and I had a chance to accomplish that. But a lot of the Super Slam, the sheep, and even the stuff like that, like Chuck Adams is one of my heroes, and I love that he had shot all those things with a bow. I kind of just was always dreamed of the things I really wanted to hunt. So meaning I never had that Jim Shockey type vibe to where like, dude, I want to freaking go to North Pole and shoot a musk ox. Man, I could care less. If I saw one at the zoo, that'd be good enough for me. I don't really care to go shoot one. I ain't against it, and I would if I was there. I just ain't all about, going to Turkmenistan to shoot, an anteater or something. I'm not a collector, even though we're the bone collector. I always dreamed like I want to hunt elk. I want to hunt mule deer. I want to hunt moose. And then those things that I love the most, rather than go do something new, I just want to go back and do that again. So for me now, some of those bucket list animals like a Yukon moose, Alaska moose, that I've got them with my bow, now I just go back and just want to whitetail, elk, and turkey is kind of my favorite things now. But I've never got the Super Slam, but I've killed a bunch of slams on turkeys, I guess.
So Josh did comment again. He's saying
49 states,
and he's saying turkeys. So
I got you. No, I haven't done that. But the question before, and Josh, that is a good deal. That was one thing I meant to say. I think Alyssa had asked a question, what states would I want to go? That would be one thing I think I would love to do, is to be able to say I've shot a turkey in every state. And to be honest with you, I'd have to go back, and I think I'll do it when I get off the phone or this live and go look and try to figure out what all states I have shot turkeys in. And I've shot turkeys in quite a few states, but I definitely hadn't done for all 49, which what Josh is talking about for the viewers or listeners is 49. The only state in America that doesn't have turkeys is Alaska. All the other states have turkeys.
Well, if
you're Hawaii.
If you're watching, you got just a couple seconds to go over to the fridge, crack a cold one, you can play a little Never Have I Ever with me and Michael. Now, some of these questions are going to be I've come up with are just for Michael, so you can just drink along for the heck of it if you're watching or listening or however you're viewing this. So we'll see if we got one more question before we kick this off, but I'm sure I missed some, so I apologize. We'll certainly try to get back to them. All right, Michael, let's do this. I got a couple for you, and so no pressure and all. You don't have to tell us the truth if one of these gets a little.
I'll tell it. I don't care. Heck, I don't mind sharing.
All right, so here's just an easy one to get us going. All right, never have I ever missed the trophy buck.
Lord have mercy, I need a funnel for that one.
Mm-hmm.
I took a big swig. I took a big swig.
You're gonna have to make a run to the kitchen here in a minute.
If I start don't make me start breakdancing.
All right, here's another good one for you. Never have I ever been chased by a dog.
Yeah.
Was it a big dog, little dog, scary dog? You remember? Just know what happened.
It was a real dog, and one was a really mean woman.
All right. Never have I ever ran from the cops. Yeah, I haven't. I mean, I've been pulled over, like I'm sure everybody watching.
Me too.
Even at parties, I think I was always the guy that got out before they showed up. So I don't.
I'm the same way. I never run
from them.
I never run from them. I had a couple talks with some that I felt like I was in the right, but I'd never run. And in the end, they win. I didn't fight it.
Always have to have somebody out watching. You have somebody on the inside to let you know when they're coming, so you can get out and avoid that. All right,
that's exactly right.
Here's a good one for you. Never have I ever had a paranormal experience.
I had one.
Now, I knew this. I kind of set this up. I think you might have to enlighten people about this. I know it's a long story, so maybe you can give us the abridged version.
I'll be real quick because I know we're running out of time. But look, Nick Monk was with me, and let me tell you something. I was in New Mexico. I was elk hunting. We'd been antelope hunting, and man, I woke up in the middle of the night. Me and Nick was bunking together. And it felt like T-Bone done jumped on me, but nobody was there. It had me pinned to the bottom of the mattress. And man, I freaked out, and I was trying to talk, and I couldn't breathe. So now when I say paranormal experience, I can't guarantee you I wasn't so tired I just hallucinated or something. I don't know. But something had me, and it felt like a ghostess. It felt like a haint had me, and it freaked me out. And I finally was like, Nick, and I said the Nick's name. He woke up, and as soon as it did, it lifted off of me. That's the only time I've had something that it felt like it was on me. So I hope somebody else had that experience. Not that I wish the same thing on y'all, but I've never been I've been superstitious and lucky sock, lucky jeans, lucky pants, boots, whatever. But I've never been like somebody that's been freaked out about ghosts. But that was a long time ago. And Sarah Liv obviously says she has. But I ain't never been one of them ones that see ghosts and do things and somebody touched me or this and that or UFOs, you name it. But that right there, something had me. It could have been my own mind. I might have been going crazy, but that was my experience, Matt. So that's why I had to take me a swig. Hold on, I had a little audio difficulties. Let me see if I can
hear me, Waddy?
I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you.
Hold on, let me see what happened here.
Well, there we go. Back on. You hear me? See me? Coming in?
It's funny. I can't hear y'all, but I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you now.
All right. You hear me now? Okay. We're back.
I got you now.
You're good. You're good. No, I was just telling everybody, or I think I was. Maybe my audio went out too. But you guys had somebody who was kind of a ghost hunter came by the HQ one time, and we might save that story. That's a good one. Might have to have you back on.
Yes, we did. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Yes. Here's one. Here's another
crazy stuff.
All right, here's another one for you. Never have I ever fell into a hole while hunting.
Fell to what was it again?
Fell into a hole.
Oh Lord, I fell off the mountain.
All right, I thought that'd be an easy one.
How long does this game last? I'm gonna be out of drink.
Only a few more. I think you might have one prepared. We'll just do a few more. But never have I ever bent one of Nick's flat brim hats. Have you ever bent one of Nick's hats on purpose?
Not on purpose, but I thought about it. I thought about it, but
all right.
Nick, he always kind of wears his hat kind of like that. But look, what folks don't know, he ain't trying to be a rapper. Nick's got a big old knot like about right here on his head, and when he wears a hat like this, it rubs it. You know, if you think about it, I wear a hat all the time.
Oh.
You do all that, and so can y'all see me now?
Yep, we're here. You're here.
All right, I'm back. Yep,
we see you.
And Nick's got a knot, so he's always kind of making it there for comfort. So it has nothing to do with style. So nobody knows that. So I got to take it for my boy, and he catches the devil, Matt. Like people give him the devil about that. They just always on him like turn your hat straight, but he's got a big old knot on his head. So maybe somebody get a hammer and knock that knot back down.
That's a good one. Let's see here. This is kind of a quarantine-related question, all right? So never have I ever hid from my wife or my kids during quarantine.
For some reason, I can't hear you right now. See if I can get it back.
See if you can you hear me now? Connection? Hear me? Earth the Waddy?
I lost hearing.
Can you hear me? Michael.
Strange.
We can see you. Can't hear you.
The AirPods. I don't know if they quit on me or I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear, Matt, but can you hear me?
I can.
I can't hear nothing. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Since I can't hear you at all, and we can still play in the, I have never. I'm gonna ask you because I gotta go ahead and ask you one. That way it worked out good because I can't hear you, but you can hear me. So have you ever went on a hunting trip with a partner of Bushnell that yet you were so excited about that you probably could avoid it or turn down the invitation that you had to but you told your wife that it was a mandatory executive trip that you did have no choice to go on?
Well, you can't hear me, but I wouldn't say I've ever said it was mandatory, but I have made things that were work related. So yeah, I have said that that's part of the job.
You know what's funny for everybody to watch? I can't hear Matt, but the way he's talking and his eyes and stuff, I bet he was sitting here thinking that his wife's in the same situation I am, that she couldn't hear him. But I saw him drink at the end. So,
well, I don't know what we're gonna do if you can't hear me, my man. Uh-oh, we lost him. This interview might be ending quickly.
All right, I got you now. My audio come back.
All right, can you hear us?
I hear y'all now. Yeah.
I'll drink to that one. All right, just a couple more, and then we'll finish it up with a lightning round. So, all right. Never have I ever hid food from T-Bone.
All right. You gotta hide food from T-Bone. And look, I ain't trying to make.
No, I got you.
I just want some of them Julio's chips myself.
Hey, I understand, man. I understand. All right, here's a quarantine question for everybody out there playing along. Have you ever forgotten what day it was since we've been under quarantine?
I don't even know what day it is today.
Okay, yeah, I figured a lot of people are probably if they're playing and drinking, they're all drinking on that one. Well, that's all I had, man. Unless you got another one. If you got one, if you thought of one.
All right, I got one from you.
Okay. All right.
I see we've got some diehard, bone collector fans that I know. I mean, people like Daryl Jackson, Sarah, Nathan, Smallwood. I mean, I know a lot of them guys. And first of all, thank you guys and everybody's joining in the view. You guys have always been awesome, and man, y'all given. And I think I can speak for Matt, giving us a chance to do some cool stuff and pursue dreams. But one thing I want to ask you, Matt, because I know I started working in the industry when I was young. You've been in this industry quite a while. In the last several years, you've been working at Bushnell for quite a while. And so you've had a chance to meet almost every hunting personality, company heads, people that as you was a kid looking into this hunting industry, now you're kind of managing some of these personalities that were your mentors, when you're young. So now, and this is the never have I ever, I guess, have you been around some of the people in the hunting industry that you thought either were great hunters or you looked up to, that after you met them, you wasn't as impressed as when you first used to look at them, or maybe, I don't know, view them or read their articles? I got to do the same thing.
No, it's a fun industry. There's a lot of great people, and you being in this industry, especially as long as you have, you definitely get to experience it all. And some of it's not like it is on television or like you read in the magazines. There's a grittiness and a real world to it all. So no, it's great though. No, that's a good one. I'm glad you were drinking too on that one. Glad I wasn't alone.
Too, and it was. Matter of fact, I'll go further. I won't call any names. But one thing I will say, I'll never forget my dad. I grew up in a hunting family and had cousins, and everybody hunted. And so when I would go meet all these people, my dad, I remember asking, "Man, have you met a lot of good hunters?" I said, "I have." And on the flip side of it, I will tell you, there's some guys out there, men and women, that they're stone cold, just killers and hunters, and just tough, rugged, brilliant up here. They hunt smart, not necessarily hard. They're not doing it for any fame or hopefully a sign of the hat. They just passionately love it, and they're naturally good at it, and they have a passion for it. So, there's a lot more of that than the other. But some of these folks, I told my dad, I said, "Dad, I met some of my buddies, and some of them I still like them, but I was just so disappointed at their hunting ability. and some of them were jerks, I'll be honest. But I told my dad, I said, some of these folks can't hunt themselves out of a wet paper sack." So, like I said, I won't call any names, but people are joining in. I'm just being honest. But overall, like Matt said, and we're not trying to be political like one of these debates, but I will say this: the hunting industry overall has been awesome. I've met some unbelievable people, unbelievable friends, and just lifelong buddies. And there's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of cool things happening right now. A cool thing is seeing all the ladies. There's some ladies right now in the movement to see these female hunters. I love seeing that. And there's some posers there too. Make no mistake, there's some posers there too. But there is some women out there right now that are just really just representing the outdoors really well. And I've really enjoyed seeing that. And it's obviously really good and fresh breath there to see that versus, just dudes and sometimes our egos, which can be, not so pleasant and attractive. It's good to see the females that represent it, that obviously look better than us, that smell better than us, that actually just have a different approach to it. And I really enjoyed seeing that. And the women hunting numbers are going up, so that's awesome.
Oh yeah, you could ask that question in reverse, and there's a lot of people that I've met and had a totally different opinion and then walked away and went, "Holy cow, this man, woman, kid, they are unbelievable in what they do." And you see it just come to fruition. You thought you knew somebody, and then you see them in action or doing whatever it is they do to love, whether it's shooting long range or hunting or getting up and talking, just being them. And it is amazing. That's why we love this industry so much. That's why so many good people are in it, for sure. All right.
Well, I need another swig so I can ask one last question.
Okay.
So, and I can say the same thing. Have you ever met somebody that maybe you wasn't as a big a fan of their show or their personality, and you meet them or hunt with them, and then you're like, "Dude, this guy ain't exactly what I thought he was on TV," that maybe their TV personality, wasn't, you're like, it was better to meet them personal.
Yep.
Same way.
Definitely.
I can about finish off right there with that one.
All right. So we're coming up on an hour. So I got this little lightning round prepared. So I'm really anxious about this because we had Travis on, we had Nick on, and there were a couple of questions that they answered the exact same way. So I'm curious if this is maybe a bone collector initiation thing, and you guys are having to do this. So we'll see what happens. So are you ready? We're gonna finish it out strong. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So try not to think about these too much. Just try to fire me off some answers. All right. All right. So on your hot dog, mustard or ketchup?
Mustard. Or both. But if I had to pick one, mustard.
What was that last thing you just said? Or both?
Mustard or both.
All right.
I'd rather
You guys
both.
are 3 for 3 on that question. You are 3 for 3.
I'm gonna carl it and just put a little mustard on it.
You're 3 for 3 on that one. I like it. You all said both. All right. Since you've been watching Netflix, did Carol Baskins kill her husband?
Oh hell yeah! She smoked him. She threw it. She I don't know exactly what. I don't know if she fed him to the tigers, but yeah, this
definitely.
All right.
All right. So you'll never find. This is a fill in the blank for you. You'll never find me in the stand without blank.
Lord of mercy. I don't know. I got a lot of things you never find. I'm trying to think something different, but my bow.
Your bow. All right. This is an often debated question. I don't know why, but is it okay to pee in the shower? Yes or no?
Yes. Don't ask my wife that question about me, but me, yes.
All right. Peanut butter, crunchy or smooth?
Smooth.
All right. So I know you're a hunter and you've been out there when there's no toilet paper. What's the best natural, your go-to solution when there's no toilet paper out in the woods?
Man, you got to go around them pond edges and find that thick, nice, lush grass. I don't go for leaves because unless you're a botanist, you can't go to the leaves because a lot of things make you itch. But some good thick grass, preferably big thick bladed grass.
All right, well that's it. You broke the streak there because that's not what Travis and Nick both said. They said they're going with their sleeve. That's why they always wear 2 shirts.
That's true, but you said don't think. You said
Okay.
don't think, and I've never been accused of thinking a lot. So you're right. If I would think about it, I would go for a sleeve. You're right, or a sock, or a quarter of the sock, top of the sock, or something.
So if you can invite anybody into your home right now, of course they're COVID clear, living, dead, fictional character, you name it, they're gonna come shack up with you for a little while. Who are you inviting in?
I'm getting Hank Williams Jr. right now because obviously I'm sitting here thinking I'm still combining the COVID and I'm thinking about campfires, maybe telling some hunting stories, sipping some whiskey, and seeing old Bo Cephas out there rattling out some of them favorite hits. That's who it'd be, old Hank Jr.
All right, I like it.
Or Ronnie Van Zant, that'd be cool too.
All right, so you just went to the bathroom. You got your secret stash of toilet paper. You're putting it on the roll. Which way is the toilet paper facing, over or under?
It's rolling down. You got
so it's over.
Yeah. Rolling down, yes.
Okay.
Over. Yeah.
And my last question for you, Michael. The best thing about being a redneck is
we the coolest people on earth.
There you go. I'll drink that. Well, Michael, we certainly appreciate you coming and checking in with us and letting everybody kick back. It's been a lot of fun. I know there's a lot of uncertainty going on right now, and we're certainly got our hearts and minds with all those people that are out there in the thick of it and keeping this nation rocking forward. So, but we did want to thank you. I'm glad everything's good with the wife and the kids and everybody's doing well. So we certainly appreciate it, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate all the support that you guys have directed our way, and it's been an honor to represent Bushnell, work with you guys and all the people that tuned in. I always say it, man, we love you guys. All these brands in the hunting industry and all these shows, they would not be there if it wasn't for the people that watch and support. And like I said, supporting this culture and being part of it has been an amazing blessing for me. And I take it very personal and very serious. I'm convicted to make sure that we keep representing to the best of our ability and selling hunting license and helping you guys see some of the best product. And not only some of the best product, but the best people that represent these companies behind the product. That to me is important because I still think good people and good people that stand behind product, even every product's going to break, but the people that stand behind it are what's going to make it unbreakable. And so that's what you got at Bushnell, and that's what you got at Bone Collector. And so thank you guys for viewing and watching. And like I said, you'll find with us, we're always transparent.
Yeah, I know we could sit here and do this for another half an hour, but I'm not sure how many people would stick around. I know there'd be a few, but like I said, getting a little empty there. We had a few too many.
Exactly.
few too
All
many
the questions you asked, we had to answer with yes, I guess.
So you'll like this. Next week joining us are going to be Casey Subio and Jesse Harrison, and I know you got a little chance to spend some time with them almost last year at this time, about a month earlier. We were all down there in Georgia in your neck of the woods all together. That was a good time.
Yes. Big fan of both those guys, man. Loved them a lot. And that was really cool, man. That was a fun time. We shot a bunch of stuff down there and kind of put some product through the ringer and learned about some of the new stuff. And really enjoyed Jesse and all them guys, man. They were just great people.
If you guys want to find something funny after this, go to the Bushnell Instagram page. It's at Bushnell, I believe. We've got a video up there saved in our highlights where Jesse and KC put Michael through a little bit of a speed shooting drill, shall we say. And I don't know how many handguns you shot, Michael, but you look like you're having a lot of fun.
I had a blast. And they're machines. I'm going to tell you right now, and Jesse being a female will represent, and let me tell you something. Don't be trying to quick draw Jesse. Casey, obviously, I mean, they're good, but holy cow, that Jesse can flat shoot and shoot fast. Man, unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. So, again, we'd like to thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Michael, it's been a lot of fun, man. You be safe, and everybody out there be safe. We appreciate you watching us, and be sure to tune in next Thursday, 4 p.m. We'll be here, maybe having a couple more sips and telling a few more stories. Michael, we appreciate it, man.
I'm about to get this grill started, cook some wild turkey. Y'all take care.
All right, have a good one, buddy.
Thank you, Matt. Too.